crime running rampant.
I just moved here. This is ridiculous. It's time for me to go already.
Police under fire.
We received multiple reports of officers escalating encounters with community members, resulting in excessive force.
And businesses big and small on the move.
Something needs to be done soon before this turns into another Detroit. Businesses leaving somewhere else because the laws won't protect us.
Tonight, meet 4 of the candidates hoping to lead the city forward. Sheriff Floyd Bonner, businessman J.W. Gibson, attorney Van Turner, and president and CEO of the Downtown Memphis Commission, Paul Young. For the next hour, they'll answer our questions as you decide if one of them should be the next mayor.
From WREG News Channel 3, your local election headquarters, it's debate night in Memphis. Candidates for Memphis Mayor square off the Memphis Mayoral Debate with tonight's moderators, April Thompson and Stephanie Skirla.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us here on News Channel 3 as we bring you tonight's debate from our studio in downtown Memphis. In just 3 days, voters start to head to the polls as early voting begins in the Memphis municipal election.
Tonight, we're going to ask 4 of those running for mayor about some of the city's most pressing issues. Each were among the top candidates in a recent WREG poll, and each has met all of the campaign requirements to be here. One other candidate, Willie Harrington, also qualifies but declined our invitation.
Well, we know all of you are anxious to hear from our candidates tonight, but before we get to our questions, we want to go over the rules. Each candidate will get 60 seconds to answer a question. If there is a follow-up question or rebuttal, the candidate will have 30 seconds to answer. 15 seconds will be provided for any clarifications needed. And you will hear this bell when your time is up. And for those of you at home, you will also be able to follow our discussion online with the hashtag WREG Mayor Debate. April?
And we're ready to begin. Based on the results of our poll, Mr. Young, we will begin with you with the first question. A majority of Memphis voters think the top priority for the next mayor should be reducing crime. What is your top priority for reducing crime besides hiring more officers? And you have 60 seconds.
I agree with those voters. Reducing crime is #1 on my list, and it's the most pressing issue that we have in our community. When it comes to reducing crime in our community, what I have told everyone in every room is that we have to hold people accountable. So the individuals that are out here terrorizing our neighborhoods and streets, we want to bring them to justice. We want to support our Memphis Police Department. We want to make sure that they have the equipment and tools that they need. We want to make sure that they're being more efficient with the time that they have. One example of efficiency that we can bring, when an officer is arresting someone, it takes them about 3 hours to process that arrest. Those are things that we can improve just by process improvement, streamlining the process. So we want to make sure that we're doing the things to reduce the chaos in our community. And the last thing I'll say is, as we're doing that to hold people accountable, we also should be focusing on intervention and prevention. We know which young people are headed down the wrong path. We want to make sure that we're targeting them with programs that can change the direction of their lives.
Thank you, Mr. Young. And Mr. Bonner, besides hiring more officers, what are your top priorities for reducing crime? And you have 60 seconds.
Yes, April, thank you for that. And reducing crime is my #1 priority. I think my desk to duty plan, we're going to take officers out of the precincts that are doing report writing, giving them an opportunity to be out on the streets. We're going to put civilians in those jobs. Then there needs to be stricter sentencing laws. Criminals should be held accountable. Parents should be held accountable for what their children are doing. We also need to take a look at the mental health issues that are going on throughout our city and our county as well. That perpetuates crime as well. So we're going to take a holistic approach. We're going to recruit more officers, obviously, and we know the places to go to recruit them. So there's a number of things that we will do, but that desk to duty plan will get officers out on the streets quicker than the necessary 500 officers that we need.
Thank you, Mr. Bonner. Mr. Gibson, besides hiring more officers, what is your top priority for reducing crime in Memphis? And again, you have 60 seconds.
Thank you very much. First thing we're looking to do is take back our streets. I think it's very important that we take back our streets. There's an optic that's going on throughout the city that says to the younger criminals that they can do pretty much anything they want to do. It's not allowed in Germantown, it's not allowed in South Haven, Mississippi, but for some reason they feel it's allowed to happen here in Memphis, Tennessee. We're going to do a collaborative effort to take back our streets, bringing MPD to the table, bringing Shelby County Sheriff Department to the table, and also bringing the State Patrol to the table. We have first got to take back our streets. No more donuts. Cut back on the excessive driving that you see, the running of red lights, and so on and so forth. I think if we do that, we can start to send a message clearly and boldly that you can't just do anything that you want to do in Memphis. We have control now.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. And Mr. Turner, same question for you. What is your top priority for reducing crime besides hiring more officers? And you have 60 seconds.
Yes, we have to address poverty. Crime is an outgrowth of the poverty that's in this community. Until we address poverty in a comprehensive and effective way, the crime will continue. Prevention and intervention. We have to get in our schools and make sure that our young people are on grade for reading. And if you look at the Boys and Girls Club at Craigmont, their intervention program is a model for us all to use. Now let's get specific. And the specifics are RICO. RICO is something that's used to take the mob down in other gangs. For each carjacking, for each theft of property, you can get 20 years under RICO. If these individuals are faced with 40 and 50-year sentences, they are right out the top of the gangs, and we'll take down that gang. That's one. Number two, we have to make sure that we are protecting our witnesses. 901 RAP is something that Apostle Bill Atkins started to protect witnesses who testify. And three, drones. We can't give chase to cars, but we can certainly use drones.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. And this next question, we're going to give you a chance to expand on your next question. But first, we're going to ask for a show of hands. A WREG poll finds 70% of Memphians believe they are likely to be a victim of violent crime. By a show of hands tonight, who has been a victim of any crime in the city of Memphis over the last 5 years? Okay, we have three candidates. Three of the candidates have raised their hands. Mr. Young, we are going to begin with you, and you did raise your hand. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, so it was a car break-in. Someone busted my car window and rummaged through the car, just as young people do. I presume it's a young person because that's who's doing most of it in our community.
Do you want to elaborate on how you would address something like that? Because you do have 60 seconds.
Oh, sorry. Yes, so when it comes to addressing that type of instance in our community, our young people need to be engaged. A little while ago, I was on a panel that Black Men Crown hosted with local rapper NLE Chopper. And a lot of young people were there. And we had someone on the panel, and it was a young man who said that he likes to break into cars. And we asked him why. And he said that the reason he liked to break into cars is because he's bored and he needs money. Those are two solvable problems. So as we think about how we're going to address this issue as a community, we should be engaging our young people so that they can have things to do and find ways for them to earn money through internships and other programs that are going to deeply engage them and support their growth as a young person.
Thank you, Mr. Young. And Mr. Bonner, you raised your hand as well. Can you tell us what happened in your case? You'll have 60 seconds as well.
Yes, in both cases, my home was vandalized as well as my campaign headquarters. Now, we're talking about paper, we're talking about vandalism, and I did not call MPD to take a report because our officers need to be taking care of more serious matters. The vandalism was relatively simple, just paper and maybe a little paint here and there, but we decided that we did not need to file a police report. I think it was on social media what happened, and but again, our officers need to be doing more proactive things than to just take a simple vandalism report.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bonner. Mr. Gibson, you did not raise your hand. You have not been a victim of crime in the last 5 years, but can you tell us, are you afraid of becoming a victim?
I'm always concerned about becoming a victim, not only me personally, but my family. I'm blessed to have a lovely wife and 2 gorgeous twin daughters. I'm always concerned about violence, particularly with my family. We do all that we possibly can do to protect ourselves. We're constantly looking around whenever we go out. We never go out alone on most occasions. So yes, we do those precautionary efforts to try to maintain safety within our family.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. And Mr. Turner, I think you said you were a victim of crime. Can you tell us what happened in your case? And again, you have 60 seconds.
Yes, I was leaving my law firm in Parkway Village, and a young man pulled out a gun while I was driving. I didn't know if he was going to carjack me or try to rob me. He thought that I was the threat. So he was acting out of fear, and Lord knows I was scared. The young man walked past me, he pulled his gun back, but he looked too young to even have a firearm, which is one of the reasons I don't understand why Mr. Young has voted in multiple Republican elections and Sheriff Bonner has accepted the nomination and the endorsement of the Republican Party. The Republican Party is killing Memphis. They were not enact sensible gun laws. They have lowered the age for individuals to have guns, and it's like they're not listening to us. We need sensible gun laws. We need people who are going to stand up and fight like Justin Pearson. Time is out for the talk. We need to sue. We need to bring litigation. We need to take our plea to the U.S. Congress. We need effective gun laws in this city, and it has to happen now.
I do want to give, thank you, Mr. Turner. I do want to give Mr. Young and Mr. Bonner an opportunity to respond to that. Mr. Young, your response.
Yeah, I think Van is an intelligent guy, so he understands that voting in a Republican primary is not the same thing as voting in the general. And I've mentioned in many debates and forums that my goal was to do strategic crossover voting to ensure that we have good people on both sides of the ledger. But when it comes to what we need in this community, it's not more partisanship. What we need in this community are individuals that are committed to getting work done for the people in this city. The people in our community are hurting, and partisanship is tearing us apart all over this country. I'm here to unify our community.
Thank you. And Mr. Bonner, you want to respond?
Yes,
30
please.
seconds.
Thank you. As Mr. Turner stated, I don't know where he received that information from, but we're a broad campaign. We're looking to seek voters from any party, any race, any, this is an important race. So bipartisan, I've done it before in the last two elections, receiving the most votes of any candidate in the last two elections. And so that's what we're running our campaign on now, that we're going to go to the people, state our case, and get it done.
Thank you. And Mr. Turner, you have 15 seconds to give a final close to this.
They didn't answer the question. The Republican Party would not enact responsible legislation to keep guns off the streets of Memphis. Mr. Young has voted and supported Republicans. Sheriff Bonner is the Republican nominee in this election. Shame on the both of them. This is unacceptable.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. Stephanie has our next question.
All right, moving on now to get your thoughts on policing, gentlemen. The Department of Justice is currently investigating the city, focusing on MPD's use of force and its stops, searches, and arrests, as well as whether it engages in discriminatory policing. And just today, the officers involved in the Tyree Nichols case were indicted on federal civil rights charges. And the district attorney has released video of yet another MPD shooting. Many citizens have filed complaints about police conduct, and some in the community say these investigations have been a long time coming.
None of us thought that this was just because of what happened with Tyree Nichols. No, this has been a long-standing narrative and historical trajectory of the department.
All right, this question goes to Mr. Bonner. What are you going to do to improve relations between the people and police? And you have 60 seconds.
Well, let me say this first of all. I welcome a DOJ investigation. Over the course of my 42 years in law enforcement, I've gone through a few of those type of investigations. It's only going to make the department that much better. Now, when we get our complement of officers, which we're hoping to be 2,400 to 2,500, we hope to start reinstituting community policing. It is so important. And then having a leader, a mayor, that's going to be out front as your sheriff. I've been out front. I've been in the community. I've worked 7 days a week just to be out into the community, to build that bond, to build that relationship. And I think that's what's important now. So you're going to always have critics. It's always going to happen. But when the people know your heart and they know that you're striving to do the best for them, then you're going to be okay. And as mayor, that's what I want to do.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bonner. Mr. Gibson, Mr. Bonner intends to lean on community policing. What would you do to improve relations between the people and police? You have 1 minute.
So one of the things that I also think we need to do along with community policing is that we have got to engage our communities to become more involved. Neighborhood Watch used to be a really popular event throughout the community. Those Neighborhood Watch programs have diminished in size. So many neighborhoods have walked away from that. I would like to re-implement more neighborhood watches. We want to be able to go out as the mayor to help initiate the reforming of some of those neighborhood watches. I would also like to give an opportunity for individuals to understand how Crime Stoppers work. Because you will hear me say throughout this campaign that it's not just about the MPD doing their job. We're going to need the community to become engaged. And one of the ways that they can become engaged is by reporting what they see. That Crime Stopper program allows them to anonymously submit what they have saw, heard, and feel. We want to promote that a lot more than it has been recently.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gibson. Mr. Turner, your answer, please. What are you going to do to improve relations between the people and MPD? 60 seconds.
First thing I'll do is ask Sheriff Bonner, why is Jarvion Hudspeth dead? This was an incident in which the sheriff deputy shot this young man who had committed no crime. Sheriff Bonner is not helping police and community relations. And I don't know where to count. He first said 41 deaths he's responsible for. Now it's 44 deaths. In total, there are 52 deaths. What we need is a candidate, a mayor that is credible. I've marched with the family of Tyre Nichols. I marched with the families of those who were affected by gun violence in this community. Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd. What we need is a mayor that's credible, that's been in the community and has actually stood with the community and fought with the community. Therefore, when I come to the mayor's office and I lay out my plan about true police reform, I would have the credibility for the community to accept that plan, and that's what we need. That's the only way we're going to heal the relationship between community and law enforcement.
All right, thank you, Mr. Turner. Mr. Bonner, we'll give you a chance for rebuttal here, 30 seconds. He says that your administration right now as sheriff does not have good relations with the people.
I think Mr. Turner is absolutely wrong. I think if you look at the community relations or the community support that we've received, those officers, one officer was hurt. I think Mr. Turner brought up a jail death. All of these things, I can't go into great details, but all of these things are being investigated right now under the DA's office. And so Mr. Turner fully knows that. But you know what's the upsetting part is he talks about that, and then we don't see anything from him when little black boys and black girls get killed.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bonner. Mr. Turner, you get 15 seconds to wrap this up.
I've served as the president of the NAACP at 588 Bands Avenue in the heart of South Memphis. For this man, this sheriff, to say that I don't care about this community, that is crazy. I've been with the community when he's been against the community. I fought for the community when he won't release tapes showing what has happened in the community. That is a lie.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. Mr. Young, we'll go back to the original question here, and that is, what are you going to do to improve relations between the people and police if you're elected mayor? You have 1 minute.
Yeah, when I think about that question, I think about what happened, an experience I had right after the Tyre Nichols tragedy. I had an officer that knew me from somewhere. He stopped me and he said, man, look me in my eyes. What we saw in that video is not who we are. That's not what we're about. That's not what we do. He said, that instance is making it harder for me and all of my friends that are out here on this force doing this work. I want to make sure that we're making it easier for them. And in order to do it, leadership from the top, we have to have transparent leadership. That starts with me and the chief, and it goes all the way down. We have to be transparent about what's happening in our community. We have to find ways to engage between our officers and the community. I referenced in a prior debate that I grew up and we played in basketball tournaments with police officers as a young person. That built trust because we knew them as individuals. We also have to make it easier for individuals to be able to report instances of misconduct. And we need to support those entities like CLERB that are going to be investigating those things.
All right, thank you, Mr. Young. All right, we're not done with our policing questions. April?
No, we are not. Our poll shows 42% of voters think the next mayor should replace Police Chief C.J. Davis. Early voting starts in 3 days. Voters want to know what you're going to do. Are you going to keep her? We began with Mr. Gibson. Are you going to keep Chief Davis or not? You have 1 minute.
Well, thanks for the question. As I've said in forum before tonight, I have not made a decision on that. I have not even had an opportunity to speak with Chief Davis. I would appreciate an opportunity to interview her, talk about what the strategies are going forth. I just think it's irresponsible not having had that conversation with her to decide her fate at a distance. That's not what it's all about. To be a responsible leader, we have got to take more ownership of understanding the issues than calling out a yay or nay from a distance. So give me an opportunity to become mayor, give me an opportunity to interview the chief, and I promise you, in quick order, we will have a decision about her future as the police chief.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. Mr. Turner, will you keep C.J. Davis as your police chief? And you have 60 seconds.
This race is not about achieving brownie points so that we can get more votes. We have to be truthful, we have to be transparent, and we have to be honest. I would not be able to make that determination until I pull together a transition team, until I hear the report from the Department of Justice, until I've sat down and talked with Chief Davis, until I've sat down and talked with the officers, and most importantly, until I've sat down and talked with the community. And then we will make that decision. We will have a plan. We will have reform. Now the question is if Chief Davis is for that reform and for that plan, then we will continue the talks. If she's against it, then maybe we will have to part ways. But we first have to have a plan, and the chief and the law enforcement officials have to fit into that plan. What is the plan for community policing reform? Once we achieve that plan, after talking with the community, we'll decide whether or not Chief Davis stays.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. Mr. Young, same question. Do you plan to keep Chief C.J. Davis? You have 1 minute.
Yeah, this question has been a hot topic, and I've said over and over on the campaign trail, I don't promise hires and I don't promise fires. What I want people to understand in our city is that this is not going to be an administration that's focused on cronyism. It's not going to be an administration that's focused on pre-promises to get elected. It's going to be an administration that's focused on getting things done for the people of our city. So when it comes to what we're going to have in our next police chief, it's going to be someone who's committed to that transparency I mentioned in the previous answer, someone who's committed to finding the efficiencies within the department, and someone who's going to be able to gain the trust of the officers that work under them, because the officers are going to have to trust the leader of the organization in order to make sure that we are getting the results we need for our community.
Thank you, Mr. Young. And Mr. Bonner, will you keep C.J. Davis on as the city's police chief? And you have 60 seconds.
Thank you, April. I think right now it's very inappropriate to say who you would keep. When I win this election, I will look at all city directors, each and every one of them. We will have a transition team. We will make the decisions, and we will make those tough decisions. Obviously, there is a trust issue in the community with Chief Davis. There's a morale issue in the police department. So we've got to encompass all of that and talk with all parties involved, including all the directors in city government. And so when we make that decision, we'll make it just, we'll make it fair, and we'll do what's best for the citizens of Memphis.
Okay, thank you, candidates. Right now, nobody committing one way or the other, but thank you for your responses. Stephanie?
All right, well, last year, Memphis police say they arrested more than 4,000 juveniles. Mr. Turner, do you think the city's juvenile curfew makes a difference, and will you enforce it? You have 60 seconds.
Yes. Parents need to know what's going on with their children. You open up your news story every night. Do you know where your child is? That is a key question. I'm a parent to 3 children. I know where they are at 10 o'clock at night. We have to hold parents responsible, but part of that issue is that parents are working 2 and 3 jobs to put food on the table. Poverty. I'll say it again, poverty. We're not paying individuals a living wage in this community, and now we fault them for not being good parents. It's the economy. If we lift the wages in this community, if we provide wraparound services, if we invest in disinvested communities, we'll see the change that we want. But absolutely, our young people need to be at home where they're safe and we're safe. I would enforce a curfew, but I would also invest in these communities and provide the services they need to be better.
All right, thank you, Mr. Turner. Well, Mr. Young, Mr. Turner says that he would enforce it. Is the juvenile curfew an effective tool for law enforcement, and will you enforce it if you're mayor? 60 seconds.
Yes, I do agree. It's certainly an effective tool. It's a law that's been on the books, and I firmly believe that we have to ensure that young people aren't out after hours getting into all types of mischievous activity. The challenge that we have is identifying those young people, and so I would want to have it enforced in a manner where the juvenile may be potentially breaking another law. And when they're breaking another law, when we have an opportunity to address them, we may be able to hold them on the fact that they are out past curfew, waiting on their parents to get there. But the thing that we're going to need to truly be able to implement this is going to be community partners. Because when an officer takes a juvenile into custody, they're going to have to stay with that young person until the parent gets there, unless they're able to transfer custody to someone else. And so that has been the problem with the implementation of the curfew. And so we need members of our community to step up to allow us to truly implement this in an effective way.
All right, thank you, Mr. Young. Mr. Bonner, you're currently in law enforcement. Is the city's juvenile curfew making a difference, and will you enforce it if you're mayor? You have 1 minute.
Well, it's not being enforced right now. Of course I would. Yes, I do believe it. It does not make sense to me that a 14, 15, or 16-year-old is down on Beale Street in an adult entertainment district and their curfew laws are not enforced. Yes, we do need to work with nonprofits. We do need to work with our youth assessment center to get those families the wraparound services that they need. We need to get those kids somewhere that they can be safe until a parent comes and picks them up. But juveniles need to know there are consequences for their action. They must be held accountable. The parents must be held accountable, because we can't and will not keep continuing picking up the same juvenile week after week after week. So when we hold juveniles accountable, we've also got to hold their parents accountable for their actions as well.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bonner. Mr. Gibson, I saw you shaking your head over there as Mr. Bonner was speaking. Same question for you. Is the juvenile curfew working, and will you enforce it if you're mayor? 1 minute, please.
I would indeed enforce the curfew laws. I was shaking my head because I agree with all the gentlemen. Youth should not be out on the streets after hours. There's no need for that. We do need to hold the parents more accountable. One of the things I like to see happen, and I've talked about it before, and that is an opportunity for us to create collaborative efforts. The city has a youth service program. The county has a youth council. Bridges has a youth action center. There's a tremendous opportunity for us to bring those 3 organizations together, give them a little bit more resources so that they can expand the work that they do. Those 3 organizations find creative activities for the students to do, be it the wraparound programs or just fun things for them to do to keep them out of trouble. But again, that notion of being able to bring those organizations together, because they like to talk about their issues. They like to resolve their issues among themselves. And I think that's a great opportunity for us to let that happen.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gibson. All right, looks like all of you gentlemen are for enforcing the curfew if you're mayor. April?
This next question directly related to crime as well. A business owner told WRAG he closed his office after 19 years and moved to the Nashville area because of crime in Memphis. He had been a victim 5 times in 15 years.
I had family and friends, mostly family, who said, "Dad, you need to get out of there. Get out of that location, get out of that place." I needed to do something that would get me out of the line of fire, so to speak.
Mr. Young, we will begin with you. How do you convince people and businesses to stay in Memphis and not move like Mr. Khan there? And you have 60 seconds.
Yeah, this crime issue that we're dealing with in our community certainly has the ability to impact our economy in a dramatic way. I've heard this type of story over and over. And so what I believe those business owners are looking for is a leader that's going to be assertive, a leader that's not going to point fingers and say that it's this person's problem and this person's problem, but someone who is going to bring the community together. That's what I plan to do. Because when we talk about crime in our community, the mayor only plays one part of the solution. The mayor oversees Memphis Police Department, but then you have the district attorneys, the courts. We have to make sure that the individuals that are out here terrorizing our neighborhoods spend time in jail. And in order to do that, I have to serve as that chief collaborator, the chief convener that's bringing those individuals to the table so that we can make sure that those that are doing the most heinous crimes, those that are repeating crimes in our community, are kept in custody so that our community can be safe. And I believe that will give the business sector confidence that we're headed in the right direction.
Thank you, Mr. Young. Mr. Bonner, how do you convince people and businesses to stay in Memphis? You have 60 seconds.
Yes, April, I saw that story when the gentleman said that he was leaving town, and it broke my heart. It really did, because we cannot afford to lose businesses, tourism, and our population that's occurring here. We're looking to grow Memphis. We want to grow Memphis. So when the business owners are talking about leaving, there are things that we could do at the police department, providing cameras, additional patrol, and when business owners are having those particular issues, then pay some special attention to those businesses. So many times business owners have been robbed constantly. We saw it at the liquor stores and other stores, but providing the leadership in policing that I know after 42 years of experience, we can bring data smart policing to the Memphis Police Department. And then again, with our desk to duty plan, putting more officers out on the streets. And it's been proven that more officers on the streets will reduce crime.
Thank you, Mr. Bonner. Mr. Gibson, the same question for you. Why should people and businesses stay in Memphis? You have 60 seconds.
I believe Memphis is a wonderful place to do business. As a business owner, I've been here for 33 years conducting business. Have not experienced the same thing, unfortunately, this gentleman did. My heart goes out to him. I understand why he felt the need to leave the city. I go back to this notion about the optics. We have got to have a CEO of the city of Memphis that stands forward to communicate with our citizens what is going on, what he plans to do to become more assertive on controlling crime. Data smart policing is a very, very instrumental process to put in place. This gentleman has experienced over and over again crime happening. That's the type of data we will be collecting in order to be able to protect him a little bit more by providing cameras, providing more officers to his facility. We have got to have, again, that CEO who takes the leadership in making sure that people understand where we are, that we are going to be aggressive in making sure that sentencing is tougher.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. Mr. Turner, you have the final word on this topic. What do you say to people to convince them to stay in Memphis? And you have 1 minute as well.
I would say to that individual to ask the sheriff to be the sheriff. This man has been elected twice. He is the top law enforcement agent in this county. A Tennessee Attorney General opinion rendered on 8/14/08 says the sheriff can go anywhere in this county to fight crime, including the city of Memphis. Ask the sheriff to be the sheriff, number one. Number two, 901 rap. I'm gonna say it again. The community knows what's going on. Witness protection. If we allow individuals who know who's committing the crime to be protected, we need to fund this program, we can have better cases of resolving these crimes. Right now, if you snitch, something bad may happen to you. We have to fix that problem. Data-driven policing is, again, another issue, and the crime lab. We have to process DNA evidence. We can't bury another case of Eliza Fletcher. We have to process the DNA evidence so that we can solve these crimes.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. Mr. Bonner, do you want to have 30 seconds?
Oh,
to
absolutely.
respond?
Again, Mr. Turner is showing his lack of knowledge of policing. We have 7 municipalities in Shelby County. Memphis has their own mayor, has their own police chief. Yes, we patrol unincorporated Shelby County. But one thing that no one can absolutely say, when Memphis called, the Shelby County Sheriff's Office showed up. We're policing now in Memphis. Now, I have officers policing in Memphis every single day. We don't receive the data that MPD does, but when we're called upon to assist, we assist.
Thank you, Mr. Bonner. And Stephanie has our next question.
All right, well, we've seen businesses leave. We just heard Mr. Khan talk about that. And big businesses come to the area like Ford's Blue Oval City. Mr. Bonner, what types of businesses will you recruit to Memphis if you are mayor, and how will you do it? You have 1 minute.
Well, there are going to be, Stephanie, so many businesses that's coming that will assist Blue Oval. I know of a battery factory that's coming in Galloway, Tennessee, that will probably hire 600 to 700, 800 people, even maybe. That's when you need a mayor that's going to be out front, because the #1 issue in our city is crime. We just talked about businesses leaving. So when you talk about getting businesses to come to Memphis, then I think what I say all the time, a safe city is a prosperous city. So we've got to make our city safe. We've got to rev up our policing. We've got to do all the stricter sentencing, holding parents accountable. But when business leaders are looking to make millions of dollars of investment in our city, they want a safe city. They want their employees to be able to go to and from, park on a parking lot, and the cars are not being broken into. And as the next mayor of Memphis, we're going to work extremely hard to deliver that message to potential businesses.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bonner. Mr. Gibson, what types of businesses are you bringing to Memphis, and how do you do it? 60 seconds.
So I agree that the notion behind Blue Oval and the creation of jobs there is a tremendous opportunity. Not only are they planning to hire approximately 5,000 workers themselves, but to support businesses that will come into play to support Blue Oval and their manufacturing needs. It's going to be horrendous. It's going to be great, I should say. There's another opportunity, in my opinion, for us to do something around the music industry. On my website, you will see one of my platforms is how do we increase the music industry, the entertainment industry. There's a tremendous opportunity around that creative community to do some great work. And I look forward to being a part of recruiting companies to come and be a part of that's going on in Memphis. That's so wonderful. We also have an opportunity to take advantage of our river, roads, rails, and air. Geographically, we are perfectly located to have a boom town from a logistic perspective. Those opportunities are low-hanging opportunities that we should take advantage of.
All right, Mr. Turner, how are you bringing businesses to Memphis, and what types of businesses are you recruiting if you're mayor? 1 minute for your response.
We definitely have to bring in businesses that are subsidiary companies to support the Blue Oval project and to support the growth that we're about to see in West Tennessee. Memphis is the capital of West Tennessee, so we're at the center of what would take place over the next 5 to 10 years. We also have to support Black-owned businesses. We have to make sure that Black-owned businesses and minority-owned businesses and women-owned businesses get their piece of the pie. They hire locally. They set an example for the young people who are in our schools to know that they can make it. And it is something that we have not done effectively. When Mr. Young was head of HUD, he had $400, $140 to come through when he was over housing of HUD dollars, and not one single Black-owned company got a contract from what I found. We have to make sure that we're supporting Black businesses. We have to make sure that our young people are prepared to take these jobs and to open up these businesses, and we have to make sure that transportation is not a barrier. Our public transit system has to be better.
All right, thank you, Mr. Turner. Mr. Young, I'm going to give you a chance first to respond to Mr. Turner about your record.
Yeah, I'm not sure
and
where
you get 30 seconds for that.
I'm not sure where Mr. Turner got that data from. When I was the Director of Housing and Community Development at HUD, we received about $10 million of federal grants Each year, those dollars went to nonprofits and agencies that are serving those that are building housing, those that are doing homeless services, and other resources for the people in our community. The primary focus of those dollars were in minority neighborhoods, and so I have no clue what data he's looking at.
All right, now you get a minute to answer the original question, which is, what businesses are you recruiting to Memphis if you're mayor, and what are you going to do it? That's 1 minute.
So when we talk about business growth in our community, I always tell people that we need to lean into our strengths. One of those strengths that we've heard from the Memphis Chamber is that we have more black and female tech talent per capita in our metropolitan area than any other area in the country. That means that we should focus our recruitment on those tech companies that value diversity. Well, you can't get more diverse than our community. We talked about Blue Oval City, $5.6 billion in development with 6,000 jobs, going to build more electric vehicles in this region than anywhere else in the country. Our metropolitan area should be the hub for electric vehicles. I always tell people that it's about the Memphis region, the metropolitan area. So even if those jobs aren't in Memphis proper, as long as our people can get skilled up and get to them, we want to support it. We're not competing against Memphis and Bartlett. We're competing against the Memphis metro area versus the Charlotte metro areas and other metro areas across the country. So regional collaboration will be a part of our economic development strategy.
All right, thank you, Mr. Young. All right, let's shift our focus now to residency. In recent months, we've watched a lawsuit play out in court over the residency requirements for Memphis mayoral candidates. Mr. Turner, as one of those involved in the case, is it important that a candidate's primary residence has been in Memphis for the last 5 years? You have 1 minute.
Well, no. And the law says that's not what is required. I've supported Memphis and I've represented Memphis for 8 years. I've been president of the Memphis branch of the NAACP for 3 years. I've lived in Memphis. My children go to school in Memphis. I am a Memphian. And so I think it is most important to ask of anybody that's up here running for mayor, what have you done for the city? I've taken down Confederate monuments in the heart of the city. I fought for Memphians when it was time to fight for Memphians in the case of Tyre Nichols. I've been at the forefront of litigation, of civil rights cases for Memphis. So no, someone could have stayed in this city for 25 years and not done one doggone thing for Memphis, and an individual like me who's been in Memphis and fighting for Memphis could be the right candidate for mayor, and I am that right candidate for mayor. I love Memphis, I would fight for Memphis, and I would be the next mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. Mr. Young, your thoughts on this? You were not a part of this lawsuit, but is it important that a candidate running for mayor of Memphis have a primary residence here for the last 5 years? 60 seconds.
Absolutely, because that's what the charter says. I firmly believe that Memphians want someone who's committed to Memphis, not someone who's commuting to Memphis, and having a residency in this community states that. Some of my competitors talk about being a fighter and how much they fight for the people. Well, that last time I saw a fight, they were fighting in court to get the laws changed such that anybody in our majority black city, that anybody from anywhere can come and be our mayor. It makes absolutely no sense. So is that fight about us? Is it about the people? Or is it about you? What's best for our city? I don't see how anybody can believe that we should have no residency requirements. It doesn't make logical sense. It's not something that I support, and my hope is that we can get that changed over the next couple of years.
All right, thank you, Mr. Young. Well, Mr. Bonner, you were a part of this lawsuit. Is it important for candidates to live in Memphis for at least 5 years before running for mayor? You have 1 minute to answer.
Well, I think, Stephanie, the courts decided that when we went to court to apply or to pull permits to run for the city of Memphis for mayor. City of Memphis mayor, excuse me. I've lived in Memphis all my life. I've dedicated 42 years of my life to serving Memphis. I've worked 13.5 years as an undercover narcotics officer, where I spent 99% of my time, or 99% of my work here in Memphis. So I am a Memphian. I've graduated from Hillcrest High School. I've graduated from the University of Memphis. I don't know, and I love barbecue just like any other Memphian. So I don't know what people are saying. I am a true Memphian. I bleed Memphis. I love my city, and we're not going anywhere. We live in the city limits now. My wife and I. Please check my water bill.
All right, we will be sure and do that. Thank you, Mr. Bonner. Well, Mr. Gibson, your turn. Your thoughts on Memphis residency requirements. You were not a part of this lawsuit either. And how long, though, should mayoral candidates live here before running for office? You have 1 minute.
I do agree that in order to be the CEO of this great city, you should live in this great city. And 5 years is a fair amount of time to ask that you reside in the city before looking to take the #1 position here in the city. One of the things that I get lost on quite often is if you're going to live outside the city and that's where you give, how do you all of a sudden want to move back into the city and again take that #1 position? It makes no sense to me because it doesn't show any commitment to the community that you're saying that you want to lead. No commitment whatsoever. The people have spoken. You look at the polls, the data show that the people of Memphis believe that one should live here in the city of Memphis. The county commissioners, the city councils have made decisions about hiring, and those should be done with residents, not people living outside the city. I'm hopeful that October 5th, the people will stand up and have their voices heard, and they will vote against these two. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. April?
Now we are going to ask a question specific to each candidate. There are no rebuttals here. We're going to start with Mr. Young. You are currently the president and CEO of the Downtown Memphis Commission. As mayor, how will you make sure you're representing the needs of all neighborhoods and not just the downtown business owners? And you have 1 minute.
I'm currently the president of Downtown Memphis Commission, but I've been working in neighborhoods and communities throughout this city for the past 20 years. The reason I started doing this work was because I want to live a purpose-driven life. And in my purpose on this earth, I believe, is to help improve Memphis neighborhoods. That's all neighborhoods. As Director of Housing and Community Development, you see my fingerprints in neighborhoods all throughout this city, whether it's Binghamton, Orange Mound, Raleigh, Whitehaven, Frazier, the list goes on. I'm committed to Memphis. Downtown certainly is an important part of our city, and we'll continue to see growth in downtown, but we're going to see that same growth in all of the areas of our city by investing in the anchors and the heartbeat of each of those neighborhoods to make sure that we're bringing vitality and optimism to the people that live in those neighborhoods, because strong cities have strong neighborhoods, and that's my core, and that's what I'm going to bring to the mayor's office.
Thank you, Mr. Young. Mr. Bonner, this next question is for you. If elected mayor, you would inherit a city and police department with hundreds of vacancies and a multi-million-dollar lawsuit from the family of Tyre Nichols. As sheriff, you also currently lead a department that also has hundreds of vacancies and lawsuits that focus on the treatment of inmates. Describe how your leadership would bring needed change to the city of Memphis. And you have 60 seconds.
Yes, thank you, April, for the question. Yes, there are many, many lawsuits that are in law enforcement involved. When we look at what's going on with Memphis, again, going back to the DOJ investigation, I welcome that. But when you start talking about recruiting, there's things that we can do right now. Again, my Desk to Duty plan. We can recruit officers. We do have the ability to go outside of Memphis and in our neighboring counties, states as well, to recruit these officers. And I think that's something that we really, really need to look at. Our small cities where officers are not being paid well or not getting benefits have been cut. These are areas that we need to look at. We need to look at states that have state income taxes and recruit them to Memphis. We need to change up our Best in Blue commercial. We've seen it now for 5 or 6 years. There are a number of things that we can do, and as the mayor, we'll get it done.
Thank you, Mr. Bonner. Stephanie has the next question.
All right, and our next question is for Mr. Gibson. Mr. Gibson, you loaned your own campaign 84% of all your money raised as of the last campaign finance disclosure. Is your support in the city broad enough to win this election if you have to supplement your own campaign? You have 60 seconds.
I think it definitely is broad enough to support my campaign. I am one who definitely don't believe that support is around what type of capital you are capable of raising or not raising. We made the conscious decision to put money into our race because we wanted to focus on the race itself, not trying to raise money and making false promises that we can't keep in order to raise those dollars. We honestly believe in Memphis. I'm bullish on Memphis. I honestly believe in myself. I'm bullish on myself. And I have always been that individual and that businessman who believe that you put your money where your mouth is. We wanted to be able to go out and talk to the individuals in a community about their issues, their concerns, the hopes and aspirations that they have, not about giving me money to get up here and argue with these guys about political rhetoric. I believe in Memphis and myself. So again, I believe I should put my money where my mouth is, so to speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. All right, the next question is for you, Mr. Turner. We've heard you express concern about how police unfairly profile drivers of a certain race or in certain parts of the city. Do you believe police should be able to pull over drivers who commit minor infractions or have a drive-out tag that looks fake? 60 seconds, please.
What I think that we should do is make sure that we are pulling over individuals who have the threat of committing additional crimes. Drive-out tags is an issue in this city that we have to address. There are places where they can purchase these tags. We have to bust up those shops and make sure that these tags are no longer being purchased. But if we see what happened with Tyre Nichols, this man was pulled over and killed, and he had committed one crime. That has to just stay in your mind. It has to stay in your mind. This man called out for his mother while he was being beat to death by law enforcement. When you balance that, we gotta build the relationship back between law enforcement and community. Once we do that, we can probably have more strategic laws to address what's going on. But until we fix what we did to Tyre Nichols as a community, we have to enact these laws right now because we have to build back that trust.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. We've dealt with some pretty heavy and concerning issues to the city tonight, but at this time, we'd like to lighten things up. We're getting toward the end, and we want to know a little more about you, so we have time for a rapid-fire question. Favorite barbecue spot, Mr. Young?
Cozy Corner.
Mr. Bonner?
Cozy Corner.
And Mr. Gibson, where are you going for barbecue?
Barbecue shop.
Mr. Turner, your favorite barbecue spot?
A&R, South Memphis, and Hickory Hill.
You're going to hit them all.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, it is time now for final statements. We'll shuffle things up when we do this. So, Mr. Gibson, why should people vote for you? In your closing statement, you have 60 seconds.
First of all, I want to thank this organization for hosting this forum. I've enjoyed myself at this evening. I think the citizens should vote for me because I bring to the table something that you don't see among my opponents. That business and entrepreneurial spirit, that business background that looks to make the city more accountable, more efficient. That entrepreneurial spirit that brings that creative, visionary spirit to the table that allows us to think outside the box, to get outside of this mud that we've been stuck in for decades, to create that growth that Memphians really want to see occur in Memphis. We're going to be about that. I'd like to point your attention to some cities across the state of Tennessee that have blossomed when they had business people as their leaders. Nashville with Bredesen, Knoxville with Haslam, and also Chattanooga with Corker. All three business gentlemen in those prospective cities, the economy grew after their leadership.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Turner, time for your closing statements. Why should the voters choose you? 1 minute.
I have a proven track record of getting the tough jobs done. When we took down the Confederate monuments, they thought that it couldn't be done. We got it done. When it was time to stand with families who have been hurt and harmed by bad policing, we stood next to those families. I practiced civil rights law in this community for more than 20 years. I'm the only candidate up here that has both policy making and judiciary and legal experience. I bring to bear all of these experiences that I've had over these years to the office of mayor. When I was 14 years old, I was at Havenview Junior High School, and I passed a note to my wife, Tammy. It was on October 23rd, 1989. We were both 14, and I wrote on that note, Tammy, would you go with me? Circle yes, circle no. Tammy circled yes. Memphis, I'm passing you a note on October 5. That note will go to Hickory Hill and Westwood. It'll go to Parkway Village in North Memphis. It'll go to South Memphis, Fraser, and Smoky City. And I'm going to ask you to circle yes to Van Turner being your next mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. April?
Mr. Bonner, your turn now. Tell us why the voters should support you, and you have 60 seconds.
Well, thank you again, voters, for tuning in. Thank you for hosting this Channel 3. And I'm asking each and every voter for their vote as well as their support. I think we're at a critical junction right now, and crime is on everyone's mind. We saw the statistics everywhere. I'm a 42-year veteran of law enforcement, all at the Shelby County Sheriff's Office. I'm the CAO of a $190 million operation with close to 2,000 employees. None of these men that are standing here at this podium have any crime and law enforcement experience at all, nor do they have close to 2,000 employees, nor do they have the budget that I've managed. I'm the only one in this race that's prepared to take over a $750 million budget, putting the right people in the right places, as I've done as your sheriff. So I'm asking you for your vote. I'm asking you for your support. Floyd Bonner for mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Bonner. And Mr. Young, you have the last word. Tell us why people should vote for you, and you have 60 seconds.
Memphis, we have 17 candidates that are all vying for your vote. And I want to make sure that you hold us all accountable. Vet us all. Look at what we've done. Don't accept the broad platitudes. Dig in and see who's actually been doing the work. Everyone on this stage, other than me, has been elected for office before. And look at where we are as a community. I want Memphis to be a city where my two kids, my 12-year-old Zoe, my 8-year-old Paxton, when they leave and go to college, I want them to come back to Memphis. I want this to be a city that they want to raise their families in. That's why I'm in this race. I've committed my life to rebuilding communities. I went and got the academic experience, and I went and got the professional experience, rebuilding neighborhoods throughout this city. We are on a mission right now to transform the future of our community. We want to write the next pages of Memphis history together. Paul Young for mayor, love to have your vote.
Well, thank you, candidates, for being here, and thank you at home for joining us. We hope you found out a lot about these candidates tonight. That concludes tonight's debate, and we thank you for being with us.
Early voting begins Friday. Election Day is October 5th. You can find a sample ballot and other voting information at our website, WREG.com. We'll see you back here for News Channel 3 at 10. Until then, have a good night.